जयपुर वाया कोटा
कृपया ध्यान आपो अहमदाबाद
दिल्ली में आपका स्वागत
Lucknow Junction.
ನಿಲ್ದಾಣದ ಕಡೆಗೆ ಹೊರಟಿರುವವರೇ
Hyderabad to Punjab Express পরবর্তী স্টেশন নেতাজি ভবন कृपया ध्यान दियो
We have got two super exciting games at the opposite end of the spectrum. One where you just couldn't score a run, and another one where you couldn't defend a run. But we've still had all that action, opposing ends of the spectrum, bipolar kind of action here in the IPL today. But at the end of the day, almost getting to that big target, 214 Mumbai, but then stopped by this cool customer, this ice cool Yorker vending machine we have called Arshdeep Singh, who made sure that Punjab goes home and Mumbai goes home, well, across the road to their hotel without the 2 points that they thought they were getting about 45 minutes preceding these last 2 overs that Arshdeep bowled. I'm Gaurav Kapur, with me Lisa Sthalekar and Michael Vaughan here on Cricbuzz Live. Jeez, that was good from him, wasn't it?
Yeah, he's produced figures on an absolute road that'll probably get lost in a week or so's time. But in terms of the context of the game, the pitch that he was bowling on, the batters that he was bowling against, I would argue that they could be the best figures of the IPL.
Oh,
He's got 4 for what's he ended up with? 4 for 28, 29.
Got my Cricbuzz app coming on because we don't want to botch the figures, right?
4 for 28 on a road. 4 for 29 against that batting lineup when he's running into the ball towards the back.
4 for 29, 4 wickets.
Yeah.
You just said that. I'm repeating it because I'm just doing the audit, just making sure that it's fine. We've got a few numbers wrong today.
But I bet those figures get lost in a few weeks' time. They'll get forgotten about. But that spell of bowling to win his team the game on that deck against those batters, Surya Kumar is India's best white ball player.
Yeah.
He is outstanding. And then you've got the big brute coming in, Tim David. You're having a bowl to Cameron Green, who's a big brute.
Yeah.
That was outstanding. That is how to bowl. And the old-fashioned way of bowling Yorkers, it's like a lost trade. Everyone bowls slow balls and slow ball bouncers wide. He just went, you know what, I'm going back to the 80s. What do? You just bowl straight at the stump, get a bit of tail back into the stumps, and to deliver it under that pressure against that crowd. I counted in the crowd, I think there's 36 Punjab fans.
That's right, out of which about 25 were the ownership group.
Correct.
Right?
And he's a fantastic win for Punjab. They needed that.
I'm telling you that the Mumbai fans, they are just absolutely brutal when they get behind their team. I don't even think they allow any of the opposing fans to get in. I'm convinced that there's a perimeter set up and they say, are you opposing team fan? You take the train and go right back. But yeah, let's just stay on Arshdeep for a second, Lisa. Just, for a guy who was born, I think, 2000, 99, 2000, for him, for us, vintages go back to the 80s. For him, it'll be, I'm going back to the early 2000s. But yeah, Yorker machine, isn't he? And it's gold.
Yeah, it is gold. And you can understand why a number of players have moved away from it, because if you do miss, you get hit. And we saw a number of players do that. But to come in on the last over when Tim David is flying, I think that single off the first ball that Tim David did was probably the wrong thing to do. I know that Tilak Verma has been good for Mumbai, but that's when, the big bucks of Tim David needs to actually kind of really trust that he can get the job done. Yeah. But then to be able to nail those Yorkers, exceptional.
True. I think the point here is Tilak Verma is a great bat, but he'd only played 2 balls, right? And Tim David was in. Yeah. You back yourself to take that last over then.
Yeah, but plus the ball was tailing, so to a left-hander, it's tailing back into him. So it's kind of restriction of his swing. David was 25 or 13. Yeah. He should have just said, look, I've just got to hit 3 boundaries in these last 6. The first one went to the cover. All right, it's not a boundary, I'm staying down this end. Yeah. You see it often in T20 modern day game that players that are trying to finish just stay down one end. He should have just finished the last 5. Would he have got there maybe? Maybe not, we're not too sure, but he should have given his team the chance to see it through. That's what he's paid for.
Because he took a single, went to the other end, the next 5 balls, he was just a spectator. He had what is often called the best seat in the house if a batter's going well, but the worst seat in the house if you're in that position. But we've got just some kudos to the Mumbai batters for getting as close as they did, right? Because there were some great batting performances. Right up top, Rohit Sharma, the captain, 44 of 27. His partnership with Cameron Green there. Cameron Green looked a little scratchy actually, Lisa, didn't he? In the beginning, maybe somewhere around, 30 balls, 32 balls, he looked, and then he just took off. Surya Kumar Yadav he didn't land. He came from home set and he was flying and he just flew higher. Tim David. It was one of those pitches, but they all did really well, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. They all contributed. I think Cam Green is still trying to find his feet. Even in his last performance where he got player of the match, even at the start of his innings, he was kind of moving around the crease a lot, not necessarily striking the ball well. But when he's still, he is able to execute his skills so much better. I mean, he's now starting to show his real worth for the price packet that Mumbai paid for him to be able to strike it there and also to pick up some wickets as well. The next kind of development for him is to kind of make sure that he takes it as deep as he possibly can. But yeah, I think Mumbai, whilst they'll be disappointed that they got really close, they should be extremely happy that, majority of their batters are starting to look very comfortable out in the middle.
I've got some stats for you. Apparently, 108 times that the team batting first has hit over 200 and only 17 successful chases. So you get over 200, no matter you're playing on this road, on this small ground, psychologically that is a huge number.
Yeah, it's never easy. It's never easy. We were getting excited because it was a great game, and you felt when Surya Kumar was going with Cam Green, you thought they could probably stroll it in the 19th. But you always know when you've got that amount of runs on the board, you only need one wicket. A new batter comes out there, he chews up 2 or 3 balls, and that rate just goes through the roof. And then you leave it down to the last over where they need off the last 16. It's 4 boundaries really. 4 boundaries to striking 6 balls against quality. It's possible, but it's very, very difficult. I hate to say it because obviously I want England to be very successful going forward. Cam Green is going to be a machine. He's already in that level of going, oh no, he's quality. And he's gonna destroy teams. He'll have games of cricket in Test cricket, 50-over cricket and T20 cricket where he'll just play on his own and beat the opposition. He'll come through and bowl a spell that probably gets 3 or 4 quick wickets, and he'll bat probably higher up the order than he bats 3 now. He's probably going to bat high up the order for Australia in all formats of the game. He's going to be a pest to English cricket for quite a few years.
He will be at his best for Mumbai now, 2 games in a row, and they'll hope that he stays like that going forward. But let's talk for a moment or two about Surya Kumar Yadav. Now, here's the thing. There's a lot of people today who are saying, oh, he's back in form. I got a different theory. I don't think he was ever out of form. He was out of luck because he would get out of the first ball, but he'd hit a ball where an out of form batter would not reach the fielder. But because he was in such good form, he would reach the fielder on the boundary. Lisa, do you agree with me here? It's just out of luck.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think if you get out within the first probably 2 or 3 deliveries, it doesn't count.
Yeah.
Because sometimes peach of deliveries, I think even one of the first games in IPL, like he hooked the ball and it was a great catch on the boundary. Yeah. Like you were just like, really? Like, is this happening to me?
Yeah, the Dhoni catch, the Dhoni where he went down, just gets a little feather and Dhoni catches it. It was just, Yeah,
so I agree with you. I don't think he was out of nick. But I am very happy to see him out in the middle scoring runs because it is just so good to watch as a spectator. Maybe not so good as a bowler, but certainly his flicks and his ability to generate so much power off his legs on lengths of deliveries that he shouldn't be able to get up and under. So look out, everyone. Sky's back.
Yeah, as spectators, of course, it's fun to watch as a bowler. It's soul-crushing, it's demoralizing, you want to quit the game, you want to leave the country. That's just the kind of batting he does. And Michael Vaughan is really happy because today he was saying there's very few Indian batters who do this. Today he did this, he did this, he did this. There was a lot that was played behind.
Yeah, he's a genius when he goes. When he starts playing, he almost plays as if he knows exactly where the ball's going to be.
Especially that shot he got to 50. Sam Curran?
Yeah, the one over, he just stays still. He has a little trigger, but his movement's very early, so he's in position. And he just seems to have all the time in the world to play. And those shots aren't easy. I mean, the little flick when he falls over off Sam and he gets it down to, it was about a yard outside off stump.
Yeah.
And he's falling over and he flicks over his left shoulder. They're the shots you have to be able to play.
Yeah.
If you want to be the best player in the world, you look at what all the best players in the world are doing. They're playing those kind of strokes because then it makes it difficult for the opposing captain. The opposing captain goes, wait a minute, we need fielders behind square.
Yeah.
But then, by the way, you put fielders back, guess what I'm going to do? I'll just whack one down the ground. So as a captain, you think, well, I need fielders in front of square. You can't set fields to players like that when they're in form. You know, he's such a good player, and he does it. I think when he sits in the dugout, he assesses the game, he assesses the conditions, he assesses the bowlers. And I've always said in T20 cricket, when you're in that dugout waiting to bat, your mindset has to be, if you're batting in the middle, that you're on 20 by the time you've got out there because you've assessed everything. You've understood what the bowler's doing. You've asked the batters that have been out there who've got out, what's it doing, what's the pace. So by the time they walk out, I reckon Suryakumar's probably 20 not out in his head by the time he gets out there for his first ball.
Wow, that's interesting. Let me show you what the Punjab bowlers did, right? We spoke about Arshdeep, and Arshdeep 4 overs, 4 wickets for 29. Matthew Short bowled the first over, didn't see him after that. Harpreet Brar bowled his 2 for 15. Sam Curran, the captain, was expensive, bowled his 3 for 41. Nathan Ellis went at 11 and over for his 4. Rahul Chair was expensive. Liam Livingston bowled well. It is a road, right? So once you see all of that, what Arshdeep Singh has done shines through even more. But I want to talk right now about the baby-faced assassin, Sam Curran. Lisa, I'm changing his name. I'm adding a T in front of it. He's Sam Curran because he's electric. Captaining, bowling, batting, everything.
Yeah, it was good to kind of see him being really put under the pump, but he did keep his calm. He did keep his nerve. He did a lot of conversations. I think, you know, obviously a bowling captain has a lot of faith in his fellow bowlers. You know, they'd probably be in team meetings together, understand the fields that they're going to set. And there's a level of trust in just letting them do their work. And I think sometimes the best captains do that because at the end of the day, the bowler is the one standing at the top of their mark, knowing exactly what they want to do and has the ability and belief to be able to execute what they want to do. So I think he is growing in stature as a leader. I can't believe I said growing in stature. He's not. Unfortunately, he's still going to be short. But the main thing is that he's gaining the extra experience. And this will hold him in good stead come international cricket and obviously future franchise cricket as well.
Pint-sized dynamite, pocket rocket, what do you call him, right? Good things come in small packages. And Sam Curran really is Sam Curran because he's been quite electric today. Happy with him being called babyface assassin?
Yeah, I mean, 24 is captain in an IPL franchise. It's remarkable. I see a future England captain in him. He's only 24. Joss will do it for a few more years, I have no question, but I can see someone that will captain England in white ball cricket. You know, he just looks a natural. He's a natural cricketer.
Yeah,
everything he does just looks like I mean, all his brothers. He's got about 50 brothers. They played in the Garden when they were young, very competitive, and all of them are playing professional cricket. You know, he batted tremendously today. He chewed up a few balls at the start, and then all of a sudden he got a boundary away, and then he got a 6 away, and to finish with 55 off 29. That partnership in the middle was really that get Punjab to that tremendous score. What I liked about his captaincy, he wasn't shy in using the part-timers. So Matthew Short first over only went for 7. Liam Livingston bowled a couple that got the key wicket of Rohit Sharma.
Yeah.
So as a captain, when you've got 2 of your top 5 that can just bowl you an over here and over there. So to get 3 overs out of the way with your batters, really, your part-timers, as a captain, that's nice to have. Particularly on a wicket like that, you want options, as many as you possibly can. Yeah. And I think with that and those 2 being able to bowl the odd over, you can just juggle your side around a little bit when you've got the batters that just bowl 3-4 overs in every game.
The thing for Punjab now is that after them winning this game, well, you talk about traffic jams. Look at this traffic jam on the points table. We've got the top 5 now at 8. I'm telling you, we say it's going to go down to the last game in in the league stage. I think it may just go beyond the last game this time.
Yeah, there's something about it this year, isn't it? There, I mean, we're how many weeks in now to the tournament, and we're still seeing this.
Pretty much halfway,
there's no
right? I
real
mean, Punjab and Lucknow have now played 7 games. The others have played 6.
True.
So Punjab will get left behind because now they're not playing for the next 6 days, and everybody else will play their 7th game, and naturally someone's got to win. So
Punjab are going to Goa.
Punjab are going to go, I guess,
They're
not
for
to
a
play.
couple of days
Are
on the
they?
beach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not too bad.
Jeez, that's
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah, they don't
Easy
play for
for
another 6
some.
days.
That's the way they roll. They win in
Yeah.
Mumbai and they get on a plane and go on a boat. Have a day on the yacht.
Not too shabby,
Sounds perfect.
Why not?
Yeah, why
Yeah.
not? It's a good reward. Honestly, they were going to do it even if they lost the game. So it's a good thing they won, right? Because that yacht ride feels well deserved. But suddenly in the middle of the tournament, that happens to a lot of teams, right? You kind of just wait for 6 days. It can cut both ways. Sometimes the break is good for you, mentally relaxes you. You come out charged, like Gujarat perhaps maybe did today, because they had a 5-day break before this. They hadn't played a game. And now suddenly you have Punjab, which has a break for 6 days. Or you can just get...
I reckon when you win, I think you want to play again in 2 days' time.
Yeah.
I think the break works when you lose because you want to just kind of forget about it, and after 5 days you have forgotten about it. But when you're on that winning streak, and particularly after such a good performance tonight, I think if you said to Punjab, do you want to go to Goa on the yacht or do you want to play a game on Tuesday night? I bet they'd say play a game.
Yeah, they would, but they won't. They're going to be on a yacht for the next few days. But for Mumbai, Lisa, there's pluses to take out of here today. I think what Michael spoke about in the mid-game show, where Rohit got a few things wrong with the bowling changes, which in Wankhede can be very expensive, and they were. They got 96 runs. Punjab did in the last 5. But what they will take away from it is their batting is still finely tuned, and 3 or 4 people are checking in almost every batting effort.
Yeah, sometimes when you're chasing a big total like this, you do have to break it down and go, okay, what can we take away that's the positives? And the fact that Surya Kumar Yadav is going well, Cam Green was able to back it up, Tim David is starting to fire at the back end as well, is really important for them. You know, it was probably really Ishan Kishan was the only one that really missed out in the top 5. So apart from that, things are going well from a batting perspective. From a bowling perspective, you know, Archer coming back and playing, that's a positive, even though he still got hit. You got to put it in perspective of the fact that he has been out of the game for a little while, also coming back on an absolute road. So, but more importantly, he's back playing, and they look a different side when he is going to be 100% fit. I mean, there's always been an element with Jofra Archer where he kind of strolls on in and you think, you know, is he 100%? You know, where is he at the moment? So,
It was a good catch.
what's going on there?
No, I was just throwing a water bottle behind the camera and they caught it really well. Yeah, it's a good catch.
Just waking him up?
Straight in. No, I wasn't throwing the water bottle. I wasn't being mean. It was coming in frame, so I had to get it out just before everybody thinks I'm throwing things at the crew. I wasn't doing that. I promise you. I promise you. Yeah. But for Mumbai, yes, the positives they'll take away is that their batters today, especially Surya, they wanted runs from him. Rohit, they wanted runs from him. Cameron, they've got runs 2 games in a row now. But there's been a few errors in judgment. Perhaps Tim David will look back at this and say, should not have taken that run of the first ball in the 20th. Rohit may look back and say, all right, maybe some of my bowling changes. Piyush Chawla was going so well. Why have I only bowled him 3 overs and not his 4th? So there was a few things, but, you know, that's T20 cricket. Is only that much is the margin of error. And talking about margins of error, we've got to talk about the first game today, because the Gujarat-Lucknow game, geez, the margin of error, I don't know if you can call that margin of error small, because chasing 136 or 135 to win is what Lucknow needed. In the back 10, they needed 56 of 60 balls with 9 wickets in hand. They needed 33 of 30 balls. They needed 30 of 33 balls, the other way around actually, with 8 wickets in hand. I don't know how I remember these things, but I do. But from that, if you miss, your batting lineup, your entire batting lineup has to look and ask some serious questions. And the captain afterwards said, I don't even know what happened. It just happened so quickly.
Yeah.
It can feel like that.
Yeah, Andy Flower and Gautam Gambit, I think they've still got him in the dressing room.
Yeah, I think there's a postmortem happening, which is not ending.
It's been 8 hours long. It's carrying on. All these things happen. It wasn't a great pitch, but it made for a great spectacle. I thought Hardik Pandya as a captain was excellent. You know, he's just got that knack. His team weren't great in the field to start with. They looked sloppy. The ball was travelling. The pitch started to look great. I think it was down to the fact that they weren't bowling terrifically. KL played aggressively. They put Krunal Pandya to number 3, which was a great move to keep left hand, right hand. Then all of a sudden, Noor Ahmed got into a bit of action. Pandya runs past one, and Pooran hits one in the air, and it just started to build. And then the seamers at the back end, when the ball just started to tail, they were magnificent. They really were, and they bowled the slow balls great. Hardik got his field in the right position. KL just couldn't get the boundary away towards the back end. He was crying out for that little lap shot to try and put the bowler under pressure. You know, and to see KL bat so well at the start, you know, the problem with KL this year has been that he's not been aggressive enough at the start. Yeah. Well, he was today. That's the way you want to see him play all the time, but he just didn't have the game towards the back end to see his team over the line. But Gujarat seem to have this habit. You know, they did it last year, that they can win from nowhere. They just seem to have this belief in their group that they're never out of it. They never give up. And I think that's a lesson to all teams in T20 cricket, that it doesn't take too much to get yourself back into the game. Just a little bit of belief, a little bit of a spring in your step in the field, and some skillful bowlers, and most teams have them. But I just thought Hardik Pandya today was excellent. With the bat in hand to get that score, he just got enough. It wasn't a big score, it was just enough. And then he led his troops brilliantly in the field. Yeah, there's something, Lisa, right? When it's just the total is so low, and when you've done well in the first, you've done well in the power play, you've done well in the first 10 overs, do you somewhere just start believing you've won already?
I don't know if you start believing you've won the game, because we know how quickly the game can change, especially the shortest format. But I agree with Vaughan. There is a belief within this playing group, and they've actually relied on so many other players, like their player of the match winners from last season to this year. It's almost like someone new every match. Yeah. And then you also mentioned, Gaurav, the fact that Rashid Khan didn't really come to the party today. Now you expect him, you know, in these type of situations to step up. But he didn't. But guess what? The 18-year-old from the same country Noor Ahmed was able to do exactly that. And then he was able to, Hardik Pandya, to throw the ball to Mohammad Shami and Mohit Sharma right at the back end just to close it out. So I think captaincy's been good. I think there is a belief within that side. It was that type of pitch that once you got new batters in, it was extremely hard to rotate the strike, to understand the pace of the pitch. And all of a sudden, Lucknow, the wheels just fell off, and before they knew it, they were behind the 8 ball and lost the game.
Yeah, talking about the bowling in the end, as Michael just did, Mohit Sharma, we talk about him, and that's such a great, I love stories, like human stories. These are the ones we live for, right? Where played the previous season, was not picked up, was in the GT team, because remember there was a bio bubble in 2022. He was a net bowler. They had a chance to get him in as a replacement player, and there was some issue with the rules and they were not understood, and then he had to keep carrying on. He thought he was going to play, but he carried on as a net bowler. How difficult is it, Michael, at those times? Because they can really, those kind of times can really hurt your pride, right? Oh, yeah, I mean, you have to dig deep to, well, ultimately, he's probably gone into a room and he'll never get another chance. That's the kind of mentality you get into, that you're bowling the net, you think, well, you know, I'm never going to get another chance in the IPL. Fortunately, someone's given him a chance and he's grabbed that chance with both hands. I mean, what I've noticed in the IPL over the last few games is the ball's starting to tail towards the back end of the innings. It's starting to just reverse back into the stumps. So at the top end, there's a bit of swing, not a lot, but there's a little bit of swing. That period from around the 3rd over to about the 16th over looks the period where it's doing nothing. So your spinners have to come into the game. And then at the back end, there is a little bit of tail. So I just wonder whether teams start looking at that and realising that there's a bit of movement at the start, so you have to get your swing bowlers in action. And your best reverse swing death bowlers, you know, the Yorker bowlers, you just save them right for the back end. And if you get hit a bit in the middle, just realise that, you know, you might have to target those last 3 or 4 overs of being real aggressive overs, that you can start to kind of get the game back in your favour. It's nice to see. It's not often that you see in T20 cricket that there is something there for the bowler. Usually it's just dead straight, and the ball, as was the case for most of tonight at the Wankhede, the ball travelling everywhere. But it was great to see Arshdeep just get that ball to reverse back into the stumps. And that's why I don't know what those stumps are made of, because
they need a couple of new ones.
That's right.
I don't know what they're made of, but they were
Very cheap wood.
split in half.
Very
what was
cheap
it? Plywood? What was it?
No, I'll tell you what it is, though. It's not cheap wood. But the thing is, because there's a camera there, right? So that's why there's a joint which is glued together. That's why it's hollow over there. So it's hollow and weak, and Arshdeep just kept hitting that. I don't know what his problem is.
He didn't like the camera on him, so he thought I'd get rid of it.
He's a little shy, so he decided to target. Maybe with a bat, he's going to try to hit the spider cam. No, that's not going to happen with a bat with Arshdeep. But
that only happens in Australia. It happened in Oz, didn't it, Leeds, last year?
Yeah, it did. Happened to Ulrich Nokia, just kind of fielding. And,
no, but his was different. I saw that.
Bang!
The spider cam hit him.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just absurd. We're talking about a player hitting it with a bat or hitting it with a ball. The spider cam just came and hit Ulrich Nokia.
That's unlucky.
Who are you working for, right?
Yeah, it's not quite your day when you're getting hit by a camera on the head.
All right, well, we joked about the fact that Lucknow is probably still doing the post-mortem even though the second game is finished. But in all seriousness, they should do a post-mortem because this kind of loss, Lisa, this kind of loss has got to hurt, right? Especially for a team that's been doing really well. They were just top 2. Easy done, no fuss. This kind can really kind of affect you a bit.
This is where you need your senior players, your team management as well, just to go, you know what? These games happen. It's T20 cricket. Sometimes things just don't go your way. What can we learn? And let's just move it, park it, and move on. That's probably the easiest way to deal with these type of situations, because if you harp on about it and keep kind of, no doubt a lot of the players will go through in their mind, what could I have done just to get those extra 1 or 2 runs, or stay out for an extra 3 or 4 balls. But sometimes it just does happen. And the quicker you move on, the better you as a team you will be. As long as you don't get to the point where you start pointing fingers at everyone else, no problems looking within and trying to get better, but just park it and move on. They're a good enough side that they'll be able to bounce back.
Sure, I just want to ask, get your perspective in as a captain. Is it true, like sometimes some losses hurt more than others?
Yeah, I mean, I think that one hurt them deeply because they're on the back of beating Rajasthan, so they're on a roll. And they had that game in the palms of their hands for 90% of it.
Yeah,
it was theirs. You just couldn't see them losing. So I think when you lose a game that you know that you absolutely should have won, it hurts. But as Lisa said, you can talk about it for hours and hours, and you can have meetings. Ultimately, it's down to individuals just to improve their game under pressure that little bit more.
Yeah,
I don't believe T20 cricket you should overanalyze it. It's a very short game. Things happen very quickly. The best thing to do is wake up tomorrow, get on the bus wherever they're going, travel, have a couple of days off, practice, and try and put it right in the next game, because they're only a game away from beating. They beat Rajasthan, so they're in decent form. And today they played well until the last 3 or 4 overs. So for 85% of the game, it probably couldn't have gone any better. Yeah. But that final 15%, which unfortunately is the key to winning the game, they just didn't quite have the right skill set and the right mindset. Yeah, it's like you say, forget about the result, but remember this pain. Almost like that for the next game. All right, well, listen, they've also done it against a team who they could have kind of just shut down a little bit, because they are potential contenders again. Defending champions are Gujarat. Lucknow last year qualified as well, so they're in the top 4. So they know that this loss somewhere, and these 2 points that Gujarat has snatched from them, will kind of come back into play. Just mark my words, they're going to come back into play somewhere in that last week. All right. Let's have a look at the points table before we have a look at the games that are happening tomorrow, because, as I said, there is a traffic jam at 8 points. And the reason I'm showing this to you is because we're going to see the impact on this with the games that are happening tomorrow, because Bangalore and Rajasthan are playing, and Bangalore's playing well, which means Bangalore can also win tomorrow and then jam at 8 points. And we'll have 6 teams at 8 points. But Bangalore are at home.
Ridiculous.
Yeah. So they don't win at home.
They do sometimes. Yeah. They do sometimes. It's not too bad, right? Let's have a look at the Bangalore squad and see if they would make any changes there. This is, of course, Chinnaswamy. So, there's going to be a lot of runs over there. There's not much for the bowlers to do, but sometimes there is. Well, there you go. That's the team they have. I just got to take a minute here, Lisa, and talk about Mohammad Siraj. He has just been on fire.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about Arshdeep Singh. Mohammad Siraj is another guy that is doing the job as well with the ball in hand, especially at the death. Just loves the contest, able to execute, will enjoy playing at home as well. So he's kind of full of confidence at the moment. And he wants the ball in his hand, which is what you want all your bowlers to be like.
Yeah. Do you see any changes, though, happening in this team?
No, I thought they were excellent.
Yeah.
They could have got 20 more runs if they'd have, I guess, played a bit more aggressively. But Faf had the best job in world cricket, just batting.
Yeah.
Just the other day. Whether he's fit enough to field, I'm not too sure. But I thought Virat was excellent as a captain, the standing. I thought he got him really G'd up. The fielding was magnificent. 2 direct throw runouts. Siraj with a run out as well as his 4 wickets. Hasaranga with that bullet throw to get rid of Sam Curran. I don't think they'll change too much. Yeah. I think they'll go same again. They'll want to put right the defeat to Chennai on the home venue. That was a bad loss for them, the big scoring. And they really had it.
Yeah,
they had that game in the chase. And they'll want to try and put that right, but they're up against a quality team in Rajasthan. So, I don't think there'll be much in terms of changes for them.
Yeah. Let's have a look at the Rajasthan squad and see what they will do. Well, the old saying, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. They've been doing really well. Again, the problem for them, perhaps the only one, is that Riyan Parag is still not getting any runs. But listen, Lisa, if 10 players can do it, you don't need 11.
No, he seems to be the cheerleader within the side. Sometimes there's always a good feel factor in the side, and you just kind of keep him or her in. And especially if you're winning majority of your games, you don't like to disrupt the playing 11. Yeah. I do think they probably could look elsewhere. But there isn't a lot of batters left in that Rajasthan list that they could potentially turn to. So I think they might give him one more opportunity. There seems to be a lot of faith given to him. Yeah. But for Rajasthan, they're a side that I think actually Bangalore, if they win the toss, maybe they should bat first, simply because Rajasthan is a side that absolutely loves batting first. Yeah. You want to kind of get them in an uncomfortable situation, given that they're the number 1 side at the moment.
It's also a day game, so with day games anyway, we have that theory here, right? Why burn 11 people in the sun when you can burn 2? And it gets really nice in the evening in Bangalore as well.
I mean, if the pitch is pure, which you pretty much can guarantee it's going to be, why not just make best use of it and get 220 on the board? Yeah. Riyan Parag's an interesting player because I'm with her. I watch him and go, God, he disappoints me a lot. But when you speak to players that play with him and train with him, they say he's brilliant. Yeah. They say he's an absolute genius. Yeah. And I go, well, I've not seen it. Yeah. I'm not seeing it yet. I have loads of debates with players that are kind of training with him and playing with them. They say, oh, no, you've got to stick by him. He's going to come good. So I don't get the feeling that they'll be manoeuvring him out of the side. There isn't that many options to replace him. So he's kind of fortunate in that respect. So for what the England guys in the squad tell me, that they really rate him. So they feel that he's going to come good anytime soon. I would say that he has to come good sometime soon because he can't keep going out there and failing and not performing. The IPL is the most pressurised league in the world, and you have to perform, you have to deliver. So it's time for him to deliver. He's got a good pitch to bat on tomorrow.
It's a great point that you make is you may not have anybody outside the 11 challenging your place, but when you're in there in the 11, you're going to bat before somebody. You take up those 6-7 balls, those things can really, in these small margins, make a difference. So you want to see, him doing well and obviously coming good on the promise and the faith that everybody has on him. All right, let's move to the second game, that is happening tomorrow. This happens in the evening, and this is Chennai playing Azdi Knight Riders in Kolkata. Ooh, I'm looking forward to this game, Lisa. I really am. Sounds also inimitable. Love it.
I think Chennai is looking well, looking good. Devon Conway at the top. He's a typical New Zealander that goes about his business extremely quietly, but just keeps churning out the runs for them. I think Ajinkya Rahane, 2.0 has been wonderful for them. So, from a batting perspective, they've got things covered, especially with Gaikwad as well. And Bhatti Raidu, he's probably the one that keeps coming in and out as the impact player. Yeah. So would love to probably see him score a few more runs. But, I certainly think Chennai have been going along nicely, and it's good to see.
He likes, MS likes New Zealanders. He likes the Kiwis. He also likes the Sri Lankans, and both the Sri Lankan bowlers have now coming good for him. There's Patirana, there's Tikshana, and they're both coming good. So, yeah, we'll probably see those guys tomorrow. I mean, it just feels silly to even ask the question, will Chennai make any changes? Because it's always no.
No, they won't. It's a straightforward answer. And the reason being that KKR will want a spinning wicket because their spinners are their main strength. They nearly defended 127.
But Chennai's got enough spinners.
Correct. So I think it'll be spin against spin.
Yeah, especially Jadeja in the last match. 3 wickets for 22. He was great.
Yeah.
So, and you've got Tikshana, you've got Moeen Ali. You never know. He may just pull Santner in as well.
He may do that. He may rest Patharana because, he's a young chap. He's played a couple of games recently and it's just, pretty much back-to-back games for him. So he may rest him.
Yeah.
It's the battle of the spinners. The KKR spinners against Delhi were fantastic.
Yeah.
They really were. They somehow got themselves back in the game towards the back end, whether it was down to Delhi's kind of low in confidence performance.
I think they had spinners from over 4 to over 19, didn't they?
Yeah, they were excellent. They just bowled with great skill. And that was with Sunil Narine not bowling tremendously. It was really good to see the other spinners step up to the plate. So I think we're in for a spinning kind of evening. It's just the KKR. I mean, they'll make 5 changes.
Yeah, they will.
No idea who will play.
And there'll be a new opening.
And yes, there you go.
Yeah.
We're taking bets for that now. Because how many? What, they've played 6 games and what, they've had 4 different opening partnerships already?
They're batting against Delhi. It was poor, wasn't it? They played poorly against Delhi. I mean, Jason Roy's not been playing much cricket. He was scratchy. He got 40 odd, but nothing like the Jason Roy that we've seen. Litton Das, he opened with Jason. They have to give him another go. Yeah, they can't be changing the opening partnership again. Just stay consistent for 2 games and just see what it brings.
Well, it felt like they did with Jagdishan and Gurbaz. You thought they did, but 2 games and they were out. So I don't know what revolving door situation is going on over there. But yeah, you just never know. Every time that panel comes, you don't know who's going to come out from there. So but that's it. So here's the thing. If that was working, you'd go, all right, that's good. But if you look at the points table, you can see from the results they're getting in. And remember, keep in mind those 2 points that Rinku Singh has done a bank heist, right?
Yeah.
That was a bank heist, what he did. So they've just got the 4 points, out of which half the points are that Rinku Singh hitting 5 sixes or 5 balls. You've never seen it before. You'll never see it again. To win the last 5 balls of a game hit for 5 sixes is one of those historic things. So there is something which has to be said, Lisa, about just making too many changes.
Yeah, there is. I mean, you've got 2 polar opposites, don't you, really, in this match. Chennai that doesn't. And you look how successful they've been for such a long period of time because of the backing of their players. I understand T20 cricket. Players understand horses for courses. You change because of different conditions, different matchups. But there is something to be said about being valued and wanted and knowing that you can contribute to your team's success. And that's what Chennai has done on a consistent basis, and that's why they've been one of the most successful sides within the IPL tournament.
True, but playing devil's advocate and in Calcutta's defence, hey, you're professionals, modern day game, cutthroat world. When we call you, you've got to be ready, right? Okay, well, when we call on you with the Joy Factor question, you guys are just always ready. Michael is always ready because he just knows. Adam Voges currently holds the record for the maximum test runs without being dismissed. Who held the record before him? Come on.
I'm going to get, I don't know, Michael Hussey.
Sachin
I was going to
Tendulkar.
say Hussey.
Is it Hussey?
Don't know.
Oh, what? How did I get that? I didn't know that.
Sachin.
Wow.
The little master.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Lily's
Oh, I
birthday.
finally got something right. And it was just dumb luck, I tell you. I just thought, Joy, it's Sachin's birthday in 2 days.
Birthday.
I just kind of did the math. But people have, I'm sure, given the right answer before mine. Let's see who gave in the first one. Austin Dicunia is obviously a big cricket fan because his Twitter handle is Pant Kohli Bhogle. Love it.
That's a good
Cricket
Twitter
fan?
handle. Love.
All right. Well done, Mr. Pant Kohli Bhogle. It's a good job there. So congratulations to you. And that's all we have time for. We got to go now. That's it. Business hours. We're going to be back again at 3 o'clock tomorrow. You going to be here, Michael?
I'll be here.
Lisa, you going to be here?
Nope, sorry. I'll leave you boys alone.
Lisa needs some sleep.
Lisa needs some sleep. It is. We can't tell you where she is, but it is 6 in the morning for her. Right?
That's a tremendous effort.
Well done. Really.
Thanks, guys. Always lovely to watch the games with you.
Really good job. Well, big thank you to Lisa Sthalekar. Big thank you to Michael Vaughan. Good night to all of you. Good morning to Lisa. I'm Gaurav Kapur. This is Cricbuzz Live. We'll see you tomorrow at 3 p.m. Indian Standard Time. Thanks for watching.
Jaipur via Kota.
कृपया ध्यान आपको अहमदाबाद
दिल्ली में आपका स्वागत
ನಿಲ್ದಾಣದ ಕಡೆಗೆ ಹೊರಟಿರುವವರೇ ಚೆನ್ನೈ
Hyderabad Superfast Express পরবর্তী স্টেশন নেতাজি ভবন कृपया ध्यान दें